Do you think the Niners can beat the Packers with Mullens? Blake, what do you think?
I personally think if there's a backup in there, I hope Patton would adjust his scheme to just like kind of what I was saying, just
overwhelm the line of
backup quarterback beat me. And
yeah.
One of the issues the Packers have had this year is getting pressure and turnovers. I feel like they'd be more aggressive knowing there's a backup quarterback in there and just like, throwing more blitzes. Because right now, like Preston Smith, he's not it. He's not performing well at all. Za'Darius has been good, not as good as last year. And they're not really getting many sacks. They're not forcing turnovers, which is, I think, one of the reasons, we lost yesterday. Like they're not hurt. Like they're not putting pressure on the quarterback. They're just sitting back there and just picking us apart when they do pass.
That bodes well for Nick Mullens, I gotta say. Vish, I mean, if there's no pass rush, he'll carve you up. That's what he did against the Giants. If there is a pass rush, then you see all of his physical limitations. You saw it against the Eagles.
Well, I think one thing with that is one of the reasons there hasn't been a pass rush is because teams have just been running all over us. Like there's not pass situations. In games when we've gotten up, like and there's more obvious passing downs, I feel like we've been able to like create more pressure. But like if there's a balanced attack and it's like a close game and like we don't know what you're gonna run, that's when it's tougher to get pressure.
Absolutely.
So do I think the Niners can beat the Packers with Mullens? Absolutely. I mean, they beat the Packers last year with the quarterback throwing 8 times. So I think the game plan for the Packers ideally would render the quarterback rather moot, where he's not doing too much. He just makes a couple of throws here and there, and you just run the football all over them, completely eliminate their run game, and hopefully you double Devontae Adams and say, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, beat us. Well, given how the Niners played against the Seahawks on Sunday, and I know the Packers had a rough game, but the Packers have Aaron Rodgers and all of that, and this wasn't their second this was their second loss of the season, but the Niners, it feels like the Philly loss was of this where it felt like everything just fell apart. Miami, it felt like everything fell apart. And now Seattle, it feels like everything fell apart once again. It's really tough to right now. Maybe I would feel a lot better a couple days from now, but right now, given what happened yesterday, still fresh in my mind, just say that, yeah, I think the Niners are going to beat the Packers. But yes, there's definitely, they can. They're a better team, and they have so many advantages in so many ideal spots.
Yeah, Nick Mullens is a more confident downfield thrower right now than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's more willing to pull the trigger on those passes right now than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not more mobile than Jimmy Garoppolo. He doesn't have a stronger arm than Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you get pressure in Nick Mullens' face, we saw what happened against Philly. But if they can't, as Blake said, if they're struggling with getting a pass rush, if they're not bringing pressure, Nick Mullens can operate this offense very well. He's been in it for 4 years. He knows who his playmakers are. He'll carve you up. I mean, he can throw for 400 yards very quickly. He accumulates numbers. So, he can beat him even without Kittle, even without Debo. I'm not saying he will. But, yeah, we've seen Nick Mullens kind of just become this. I mean, he threw for 228 yards in a quarter. Not many guys do that. It was against prevent defense. The game was out of hand. Still, the guy is not a straight up stiff. And I'm curious. I think it's going to be a really close game, and I really don't know who's going to win. I don't know.
There was one question. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, don't you think having Mullens kind of air it out more would play into the Packers' favor? Because I feel like having them just run the ball all the time I would rather them pass it with Mullens than just run it. I don't even care what running back's back there. Like, I feel like Shanahan's just going to like do some zone run and he'll do a trick play and scheme up something where someone has a huge gaping hole. And whether that's Hasty, McKinnon, or Mostert, or, Mostert's injured, but I just don't think it matters like who they throw in there. Like
because they're going to win with their running game. No, all I'm saying is they're going to feature their running game. They're still going to have the gadget plays in the screens, but instead of that being everything that they have, they can also throw a couple passes downfield too, just to keep the Packers on their toes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he is right. Ideally, you don't want the quarterback throwing that much at all because they do have a pretty good secondary, and it's because Jair Alexander is a superstar. Blake, I think you're very high on Jair Alexander. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's a superstar. So, maybe he takes Brandon Ayuk in man coverage in this game and just locks him out of the game. But the Niners still have Juszczyk. They still have Dwelly. They have Bourne. There's enough where I think they should have no problems.